Hi guys, Adam here from Blend. Hope you've had a very good week. Really glad that you could join us again for our fifth 12 days of learning towards Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Now guys, I'm really pleased actually today to be with one of my team, which is Stephan, who joins us here.
Hello.
Stephan is head of delivery at Blend, but is a seasoned UI UX designer. And basically, he's worked with a lot of major high street retail brands here in the UK. And the reason I really want to get Stephan on is because I know a lot of you will be conscious about thinking about your UI UX, and particularly on in relation to mobile and how all those things obviously can impact on your store as we go towards Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So what I'm going to do is probably hand over to Stephan. As always, guys, if there are any questions, please do ask them in the comments. We'll do our best to answer those as much as we can. And if you're watching this on repeat as well, not a problem at all. Just pop a question into the comments and we'll get around to you as well. So, Stephan, thanks for being here.
Oh, all good. I'm excited, actually. A little bit nervous, but I'm excited.
No, you'll be absolutely fine. Everyone's friendly here, so it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. So, if you want to share your screen, and then I think you'll probably dive in, won't you?
I certainly will, yeah. So basically, I want to kind of just show three ways to make sure your store is mobile ready. There's obviously thousands of ways to actually do this, but I want to kind of just interject with a bit of fact that I've recently discovered and kind of done it throughout the years. But kind of e-commerce sales have like soared over the past few months due to this lockdown, seeing the world in lockdown, kind of since records began, basically. So the global e-commerce sales have tripled in the past few years. So in 2016, you can see that there was $1 trillion worth of sales, but now in 2020, they're seeing 3 trillion in sales. So that's a lot of kind of growth in the sales. But what's more is they reckon in 2021 the mobile market for e-commerce sales would be worth a little over $3.5 trillion. So there's literally no better time than now to get your store mobile ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So and the longevity of your business as well. So because there's a lot of studies suggests that this will grow over the next 5 to 10 years. So there's a lot of money to be had. So what I kind of want to do is there are loads of ways to make sure your store is ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but there's just 3 specific things that I kind of want to show and kind of walk through a little. So the first things first, basically, is mobile first. Whether you're a clothing e-commerce store or a cosmetic brand, always think of your store as being mobile first, because Google does. So in 2018, Google announced that they'll be starting to index sites for mobile first. And actually this month in September, Google has now done that and now is going to be doing it across every site in the world, basically. So this means that Google will place your store, or literally anything, any store, as a mobile first indexing. So rather than your desktop store, it's going to be your mobile. So why I say now mobile first, Google are doing this so because there are more and more searches done through your mobile devices. So Google decided to prioritize mobile first. So just think Google, obviously this massive powerhouse that we have, there's only one index. There's only one index, and that index is now mobile. So that's why I'm saying first things first is mobile, and making sure that this is your first thing. But on top of that, making it mobile friendly as a longevity of your store. So making it mobile friendly would, for example, maybe making your navigation more simple, and making it work on every store rather than just on desktop. Yes, I design some of my stores. When I get into design work, I do look at desktop, but mobile is the thing that's people are going to, and they say in 2021 that 55% of users will be using their mobile phones to kind of shop online. So so making your store mobile ready with a navigation where users can find the right things that they want without actually hunting for it. And being aware, especially for mobile devices, that your checkout process is really simple. And Shopify is great for that because it's so simple and an easy, quick, super effective way. But if you're not using Shopify, you need to use a quick, simple, easy to use, super quick way of actually getting someone to check out. Because this will generate you revenue for sure. And lift conversion rates. And there are sites that I quite like the look of for the navigations themselves. And one of them is, I'm not being biased, one of them is actually the one that I used to work with. And it's next.co.uk. And I'm just going to share my screen with you so you can see basically what I'm talking about. What they're doing here is they've got a nice, basically categorized literally everything for their site. And what was really nice, I've recently saw that they've updated this. They obviously they list everything, and what was nice that they've kind of, what do you call it? Made everything given an opacity so the menu stands out. And then they've categorized both sections, so all of their kind of clothing and obviously shoes and stuff like that are all here. But then they've looked at their lookbook, because this is their catalog basically, and they've put it now into images so people can easily see what they're looking for. So that is one site that I really do like the look of when it's coming to their navigation. Because again, on mobile, it's exactly the same, because one of their things here is Next. Again, when I was back in there at 2012, they really focused on their app. So again, an app could be another way forward to kind of generate your mobile first. So that's obviously downloading it through Google Play or through the Apple Store. And many sites take advantage of this. So that's sites including John Lewis, where they've got a dedicated app, even though you can shop online via a Chrome or places like that, but they've got a dedicated store online with using an app, as well as IKEA. And IKEA is really, really good for this, because obviously you're trying to buy this main product, which could be a sofa, and on their app themselves, they're utilizing the experience of a mobile device where you can hold up a sofa into your front room itself and place it exactly where you feel. So it's got that look and feel of like, oh, actually, yeah, that sofa's right for my house. So that's why I'm saying mobile first. Try and think about how your users are going into their devices and how they're going to shop. So that's two kind of routes that people have used. So I will stop screen sharing for now. So secondly, and another big thing is speed. So this is number two. So site speed is a stickler. The speed of your site needs to be super quick. Why? Because companies that have a site that runs really slowly do lose valuable sales. So especially on mobile devices, but predominantly as well on desktop. So if your site doesn't load quick enough, or the checkout process is running really slow, for users having really slow responsive sites will feel worse on a mobile site. So they'll be like, oh, I'm trying to get somewhere and it's running slow. I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna bounce, and that's not what you want. You want people to stay onto your site and actually convert into a sale. And there is a quick way of doing that, and one of the ways is to try and see what your site speed is to visit kind of the Google site speed. So again, I'm just going to quickly share my screen so you can see the website I kind of go into. So for example, if I go into here and type in next.co.uk, it kind of gives me an analytic approach where I can see how I could improve my site. Blend would do that in any way because there are other tools that we would use, but this is a quick and easy and free tool to use where you can kind of go through how to improve your site. And you'll, however, there are, like I said, there are agencies who will do that, and we're one of them. And it's something that we constantly do with our clients. And one of the clients that we do this with is Aquarium Co-op. I love working on this site. The client's great because he knows exactly what he wants. But this site is super quick.
It's about 1 second at the moment, isn't it, Stephan?
Sorry, say that again.
I think it's about 1 second on mobile.
I think
sorry.
To be fair, I think it's a lot quicker. But yeah, so it's one of the fastest sites that I know. And this site is so mobile friendly as well at the same time. As you can see, it's as soon as I obviously load the site, you can tell that it's super quick already there. It's already loaded. Going into a page, it's just super fast. There are sites that can be quicker, but this one site, looking at our analytics from that point of view, is rated an A, which is 96% for site speed, which I've not seen a site that does that for desktop. And for mobile, it's quick as well. So it's good. So that's the second thing I would say to try and get your mobile, your store up and ready for Cyber Monday and Black Friday, is to sort out your speed of your site, because people are always on the go. And that's
one thing. I was going to just jump in there for a second.
Yeah.
In terms of speed, I remember obviously talking to you a lot in the past, but would you still say that kind of image size is still one of the main factors that people's sites aren't as fast?
It's one of the factors. There are obviously, as you know, there's loads. So images, unused code for one thing as well. I've also noticed that quick view can be an issue for site speed, because obviously if you're looking at a site that has quick view, why use a quick view when they can go easily into a product page? So if you're viewing a collection page with all the items, having a quick view loads all of that information. So that's extra information that a user might not want. So so that's another thing there. Fonts as well. Fonts is it can be large files. So again, those fonts can cause issues. So there's, like I said, there's hundreds of ways to reduce the site speed down, but there's those 4 things there: images, fonts, as well as filtering as well. So
great. Okay, cool. That's a really good starting point, I think, for everyone listening, to focus on those things first and foremost.
Yeah, for sure. And the last thing that I am going to kind of touch on is social media. Social media is as a free tool that anyone can use and anyone has access to. Well, not everyone has access to, but obviously there's limitations for age groups. But this is something that that will be super good to kind of get your store ready. Social media is something that many users still do on their mobile devices. So taking advantage of this platform to drive traffic onto your site is something that shouldn't be passed up. If you assume that most of your traffic comes through social media sites, which then comes from mobile devices, then really your e-commerce site should comply to laws of mobile friendliness, design, and already be mobile ready. So, but then if this isn't the case, then someone who comes from social media onto your e-commerce site will learn the hard way through negative reviews, backlash, on negative comments, and even being reported. So there's being mobile ready, especially for people who are on social media, kind of is something that I would push. So there's sites that we've developed that have amazing stores on Facebook and Instagram. So one of them is Why Food. It's great because when you're going onto their Instagram feed, you can click onto the actual image themselves, and you can see the products, as well as Due West as well. Due West is one of our new clients, and it's always good to see a little pin on the product itself to navigate me to the website, or even an in-store application. So Instagram have an inbuilt store, so it's really cool to kind of get that. So those are my three things that I would suggest to. Three ways to increase your awareness and to get your store ready for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and mobile ready, and the longevity of the actual business in a sense as well. So, but to kind of therefore conclude with that, you do need a mobile ready, Google perspective ready a website that is mobile first, a site that has a really good navigation. So especially if you're an e-commerce store anyway, you need a good search, and having a search, everyone searches because they're browsing. If they know exactly what they want, they're going to search for it. A site that runs quickly, and a site that is accessible by users coming from social media. So they're the three things that I would suggest.
Excellent. Thank you, Stephan. And guys, if you have any questions, please do feel free to type those into the comments. Stephan, I think probably, a couple of things probably worth touching on. If I think about our clients, probably over the past 6 months, I think it's probably fair to say that usually it's somewhere between 60 and 80% of all traffic tends to be mobile.
Yep.
So I think, it's important in that respect too. But I think what you've highlighted there is that when we think about mobile, we sometimes get a little bit obsessed in terms of the user experience, which of course is important. But like you mentioned there, also from a search point of view, it is even more important. I don't think probably we necessarily always recognize the benefits across the board. And I know what's interesting for me, I think, that when I first kind of started working, with Blend and obviously within the Shopify space, is that, at that time we were still kind of looking at designing a website in terms of desktop, because that's what we'd always been thinking about. But obviously I know now you take the approach of always kind of taking mobile first, and then obviously desktop comes after. So I definitely think, people looking at their sites is take a look at it on mobile, look at it on different devices. Because it's, that's ultimately where the majority of your traffic is pretty much going to be from. I mean, I think, the smallest proportion of mobile that I can probably think of with our clients at the moment is probably about 55%. So, that's just, I guess, indicative, isn't it, of how important it actually is.
Sorry, you just touched on kind of the different mobile kind of platforms. So Android or iPhone. I think that they both have the same experience, but from a mobile's perspective, they're completely. So if you're doing apps, so like what I suggested there with John Lewis and IKEA, they're going to be completely different experiences. So if you want to design an app for your customers, you need to then also think, how are my Android users going to feel if I do something that an Apple person would do? So you have to think logically how both users would then fall into that bracket.
Certainly. Okay, well, look, that's great. Thank you very much, Stephan. And guys, thank you for joining us. What I was going to say is that if you haven't had the opportunity yet to download our Shopify app lookbook, this has been something that we have put together in lieu of obviously Black Friday, Cyber Monday. What we include in there is basically a range of different apps that we work with, which again are all obviously mobile friendly. You can find the obviously URL there, and also post this into the comments as well. We are going to be taking a little break on Monday from Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 12 days of learning, but we will be back on Tuesday of next week with our next session. And I'm very pleased to announce that 12 days will now be turning into 14 days. So we actually have signed up a couple more of our partners who are going to bring you, again, another great 15-minute live session via obviously Shopify Entrepreneurs, Shopify Entrepreneurs UK, and also with Blend Commerce as well. So, Stephan, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
And look, guys, thanks ever so much, and have a good weekend.
Bye.